There are a lot of places that you can spend your money in Rise of Kingdoms, but some are way higher value than others. In this video, we're going to help you evaluate where you should spend your money based on how things have changed in 2020 and beyond in Rise of Kingdoms. And yeah, a lot has changed. So stick around for an in-depth guide to help you get serious value in Rise of Kingdoms. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming. Today we have so much to talk about. We're going to build off of our ultimate spending guide, which we released in 2019. Card will be up in the top to share the things that we think have changed profoundly since the release of that guide. And yeah, there are a lot of things that have shifted, including where your spending might go in Rise of Kingdoms. If you like Rise of Kingdoms guides that help you get value and smash your enemies, consider smashing that subscribe button for daily Rise of Kingdoms videos. We're a sponsored content creator, and today we're going to be talking about where you consider spending real-world money. Now, you can follow the timestamps in the description of this video to jump to any portion that you are most interested in. First, we're going to focus on what has changed since the last video we did. Then we're going to talk about where you might want to spend your money. This is going to account for new bundles that have made their way into the game, including crafting related bundles, healing related bundles, Lucerne scrolls, and more. Then we're going to talk about some of the things that have changed in our perspective about bundles that we would go invest in now that we might not have considered previously. So what's changed in 2020? Well, first of all, equipment alone has been a massive shift since the last update to the game. You can get an upwards of 65% of stats from your equipment alone, which is insane. The bundles have changed. There's even a daily supply for materials. So yeah, there's a lot we need to go talk about there. And by the way, that 65% of stats number doesn't even account for the accessories, which are really powerful too. The next major change in context for Rise of Kingdoms is very simply related to healing your troops. Previously, you used to be able to heal your troops in small batches as much as you wanted to clear out your hospital. Now you can only get helped 1,000 times in a day, eliminating that technique almost entirely. Healing speedups are way more valuable than they were before. Now, before we get into where you should spend, I just want to plug for just a moment the fact that, I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not actually financial advice. This is spending with disposable income. So prioritize your family, your retirement, and those things in life that matter more, and definitely don't go into credit card debt over a mobile game. And if you're already in credit card debt, gosh bless, get out of debt before you spend more in Rise of Kingdoms. So now with that said, there is some good news about the bundles and how things have actually not changed over time. And in a game like this, it would have been conceivable if there would have been bundle creep. In other words, the newer bundles are way better than the older bundles, and that is actually not true. Holiday events still give about the same amount of speedups that they did previously for those bundles, and I'll put a card up in the top with almost every single bundle that has come out in the game. I'll remove the super old ones, but you can see yeah, the amount of speedups here is about the same as it's always been. So it's not like the new bundles dramatically outpace the old bundles. Rather, the value is relatively the same over the last year that the game has evolved. The last public service announcement we need to make before we get into the bundles themselves and where you would want to prioritize is simply the timing of your spending. There are events that happen in Rise of Kingdoms, and one matters a lot to low spenders, and that is a recharge event. In a recharge event, you need to acquire 2,500 gems worth of raw gems. That gem number up top there is what I'm talking about, not token form, across 5 different days over a 7-day span. And you do that, you get a bunch of legendaries on top. So if you are a very low spender into the game, or you're hunting for maximum value, then yeah, whatever it is you're buying, you need to time that with a recharge event to get that crazy value. So I want to give that context. The best value in the game still, by the way, is things like the 30-day gem supply that is still phenomenal value. The growth fund is something that you can only purchase one time, but it gives you a bunch of gems based on your city hall level, costs 15 bucks. And the Writer of History, still classic bundles, extremely high value relative to what you pay for them. Now let's get into the new bundles, and these are kind of exciting. The first bundle I want to show you is a bundle that will appear every time you craft a legendary pattern. We're actually going to go and do this. And by the way, when I say craft a legendary pattern, I actually mean you combine the fragments of the pattern to complete a blueprint. You don't even have to craft the equipment. You see, I can combine this Skolas' lucky coin here. So I'm going to go in to the blacksmith. I'm going to smash combine on this, and when I back out, the Vanquisher Bundle. The Vanquisher Bundle is amazing value for $5. You are getting a solid amount of gems, a ridiculous amount of legendary material crates, some resources, some VIP. This bundle is really exceptional. This is the Writer of History equivalent for equipment. And yeah, equipment is really good. You can move it to whatever commander you want. So if you are hunting legendary equipment, which like eventually a lot of players will be over time, a lot of players, especially free to play, will get there eventually, then yeah, this is a solid bundle to pick up. And if you are a low spender, if you're looking for something to spend on, this is really high value. As a new entrant, I really would say this is on par with a Writer of History bundle. It is very solid. In addition to this bundle, there's a bunch of bundles that you get the first time that you're going and crafting stuff and getting certain achievements, like a special talent on an epic and so forth. I'll put a card up in the top for the live stream where we went in and tried to get all of those bundles to pop. There's one bundle in particular I do want to talk about that will offer you either a Silent Trial or a Delane's Amulet, which, man, those patterns are extremely valuable and very much a pain in the butt to go and obtain otherwise. I would argue that those first-time bundles for all of the blacksmithing and equipment-related items, and they're really one-time offers, much like how when you were leveling up your city hall, you got a one-time offer. Those bundles are really, really exceptional and are generally very much worth the value if you are spending in Rise of Kingdoms. They still don't necessarily crest the value of that 30-day gem supply and the growth fund, which are really amazing, in part because you use those gems to get even more value from events. So if you see those bundles show up and you're thinking about spending on them, wondering if they're good value, the answer is a definite yes. Now, the next bundle we want to go and get a look at is a replacement of the hammer and anvil, and that is Geared Up. This is a bundle I am personally purchasing right now as a top priority for my main account. This is a bundle that is going to have only the $100 tier purchasable once, which is kind of a bummer. At the $100 tier is when you're getting the best value. This bundle is giving you materials, it's giving you crystal keys that you can use to get patterns and more materials, it's giving you some speed-ups and some resources. This bundle is very exceptional for anyone who feels like they've already got all the troops they need, and what they're trying to do is make their rally leader or garrison captain even more exceptional. If you're not launching rallies or leading a garrison, I don't think you need to worry about this as much. And in my opinion, the folks that should be really hunting this aggressively are the ones that are the sort of tip of the spear for the fighting. Again, that's the multiplier for your kingdom as a rally lead or a garrison captain. The last material-related change for bundles that you can purchase is a 7-day material supply. This is very, very good. It's $5 for 2 legendary materials and 1,000 gems. It's not as good as the Vanquisher Bundle that we were just looking at. However, 2 legendary materials for $5 is a very solid deal as far as legendary materials go. Keep in mind, I'm buying the Geared Up Bundle just to try to get like 3.5 or 4 legendary materials at the $100 tier. So yeah, $5 for 2 legendary materials and a few gems over the course of 7 days is very good. The 30-day gem supply and the 7-day material supply are where the value hunters should live, and you should time that with that recharge event that gives you really solid value, because you're going to get the 1,000 gem value over here counted toward that recharge event. The next set of bundles we're going to go look at are healing speed up related, and Some of these bundles are brand spanking new, including the Mighty Conqueror bundle. If you want to see the full details of this bundle, I'll have a card up in the top where we break down exactly how good this is. What I'll say is that this has a lot of healing speed ups in it. Who needs this bundle? Folks that are fighting very aggressively in the field, and those are really folks that are already T5 maxed out, because look, if you're buying healing speedups, I want you to think about this for a second. If you're buying healing speedups, those are speedups you can't really use to get more legendary commander sculptures. Most of the time anyways. In most kingdoms, most of the time, you have a constrained kill event. So it's not like you're going to run around and need all these healing speedups to win, legendary commander sculptures from Mightiest Governor. If your kingdom has a fully open Mightiest Governor, then yeah, you can use this Mighty Conqueror bundle to get these healing speedups and actually get some legendary commander sculptures out of the deal too in a Mightiest Governor. But for most people, they're not getting that. So for most people, I would say this bundle is solid if you are field fighting like crazy, you've already got T5, and you've got a really solid base of commanders. You're not too worried about winning Mightiest Governor. Kingdoms that have an arranged Mightiest Governor especially have a low need for this. But for most folks, you really are worried about winning Mightiest Governor that are big spenders. And so, yeah, this is probably not a top tier bundle unless you want to help out with your field fighting. A bundle that I think is better for getting a bunch of speed ups for healing and getting a bunch of other things that you might also want is the Call of the Ancients Super Value Bundle. Now, this value bundle is going to bring you a very high volume of speed ups, but it is split between training, universal, and healing. This bundle at the highest tiers is going to give you 50% army expansions, as well as a bunch of troop reserves to train troops. I mean, if you're a big spender, this is the go-to bundle above and beyond all the super value bundles for training troops and fighting in general. Most folks really do need the healing speed ups at the top tier for fighting, and yeah, they slam dunk this. Funny that it is an Ark of Osiris related bundle. However, you really shouldn't be using your healing speed ups in Ark of Osiris. You'd have to be in the very top end of Ark League, and I'd be pretty curious why you don't already have enough troops if you're in that top end of Ark League. I guess you could have had a really tough KVK, and that would be a reason why, but man, that would add up real quickly in terms of expense. One thing I do want to add about the Call of the Ancients bundle is that it resets on Sunday. So what you can do is if you leave your game open after having max purchasing this bundle, the game will reset on Sunday. The bundle will become available again, even though it should disappear from the store. And you can max purchase this thing a second time. So some people max purchase Call of the Ancients twice when it rolls around, and they don't spend in between. So folks that are max purchasing a bundle a week, which I know that sounds kind of crazy, instead sometimes they double in on the Call of the Ancients, which is $800, kind of nuts, but I've actually done that a couple times. I personally, on my main account, have stopped purchasing this bundle in favor of the Geared Up bundle, and that is simply because I don't really need more healing speed ups. I've got like 5,000 hours of just the 1 hour speed ups alone for healing. I'm going all in on gear, and that's one of the benefits of having an arranged Mightiest Governor or being in a kingdom that does that. The next bundle for which the value has changed substantially since we did our previous video is the Lucerne Scrolls bundle. In the most recent material update patch, an equipment patch, they went in and they added a ton of goodies to the Unlock Divine Inheritance tier of the Lucerne Scrolls. And so given the huge volume of goodies that are in here, it actually becomes much more worthwhile to consider purchasing one of the tiers of this bundle. You even can get legendary blueprints now, which is very solid. Now, if you're looking at the Divine Inheritance bundle, I would argue that you probably have to get the $20 bundle in order to complete your Lucerne Scroll journey and get that legendary pattern. It is possible you could do that with just the $5 Treasure Hunter bundle, but I think for $20, you are getting a remarkable amount of value, especially when you factor in, okay, it's $5 for the 2 legendary commander sculptures. If you're buying the 7-day supply, it's $5 or $10 to get some legendary commander sculptures from the Writer of History. I mean, the value here is pretty solid. The downside of this compared to something like a 30-day gem supply is that you don't actually get to pick and choose like you do with your gems in a 30-day gem supply. In other words, you're getting whatever is in the Lucerne scrolls, and it's generally very good, but that doesn't mean you have the gems you would need to go and spin a Wheel of Fortune for a commander you really want. So if you want more control, I'm going to argue the 30-day gem supply is much better. If you are looking to go above and beyond that 30-day gem supply, or you're very hyped about a city skin that's in here, then like, yeah, the $20 for this would in that case be more compelling. But I would rate this lower than 30-day gem supply and probably higher than the 7-day equipment supply. You'd have to go and get a deeper look at everything that's in here. But if you need the city skin, then like, yeah, it's better than the equipment bundle because yeah, the equipment can't replace a city skin that comes around only once. On the topic of bundles that have sort of changed, like the Lucerne Scrolls, we can go in and talk very briefly about the daily special offer. There are 2 new commanders that have been added to the tail end of this, Richard I and YSG. Those are really solid commanders. This bundle is still very good value. In particular, the Treasure of the King offering you action points is really very exceptional. Card up in the top if you want to see my video why action points are one of the very best things to spend your gems on. I wanted to mention that there are new commanders in here, but they are at the very tail end, which makes them somewhat unobtainable, and you'll probably have those commanders expertised if you're spending by the time you get to the bottom of the barrel over here to your Richard I and YSG. Before that, you would have Double C, Martel, El Cid, Caesar, Freddy, Mehmed, then Richard, then YSG. Now, the last bundle I want to talk about in terms of value is the New World bundle. And you may be thinking, well, I'm not planning to go anywhere, but you know what? People aren't ever planning to migrate out of their kingdom until things have gone sideways. And at that point, you might need a lot of bundles in a hurry to get the number of passports that you need. Good news on that front, you can exchange your Alliance shop currency to get passports, and we're getting more and more ways to obtain that Alliance currency. So you can probably get a lot of passports free to play, which is very good. But if you need to spend, or you're being forward thinking about the potential need for passports, I just want to call your attention to the fact that at the $5 bundle, you get 1 passport. At the $10 bundle, you get 2 passports. $5 a passport is really solid value. When you think about all the other stuff you're getting as well, you really should consider stocking up on this every month. The bundle resets once a month to get those crucial passports at a very discounted value. Otherwise, you'll end up getting it at the $100 tier for 5 passports. That's $20 a passport. And I get that there's other stuff in the bundle, but people who are buying this are really just there for the passports. Now, the final category of things that we need to talk about today are things for which the context has really kind of changed. And my evaluation of some of these things has also potentially changed as well. The first thing I want to call attention to is the gem store. I did not, when I made my first video about spending, really realize just how good the first time purchase bonus is for getting raw gems in the store. And now there are so many ways in the game to convert gems into value. That was not the case before. Those of you who remember the Esmeralda days, you know what I'm talking about. I'll put a card up in the top. That event was terrible, okay? There were not a lot of ways to spend your gems. Now there are. You need the raw gems in a way that you never did before. Given that context, picking up each of these bundles once for the doubled number of gems is actually really good. $100 for 50,000 gems is really good. Just think about what you can do with a Wheel of Fortune and compare the 25,000 gems you do in a Wheel of Fortune to what you would get from any one of the bundles at the $100 tier. And you can do your own evaluation to say, gosh, like, would I prefer what's in the bundle with all those resources I don't care about and a small amount of speed ups, or do I want the legendary commander sculptures for a commander I really want? I mean, when I frame it like that, it's pretty easy to see. Picking each of these up once is a pretty solid deal, and I actually need to do this on my main account. That's something I'll probably be doing very soon. The next bundle for which the context has really changed is actually the Living Legends Super Value Bundle. And you may be thinking like, whoa, what? Like Chisgule Living Legends? What are you talking about? But the thing is that gold keys have a lot more value than they did before. There are a lot of new commanders that have made their way into the gold keys. Mulan in particular is looking really, really solid. For most advanced accounts, don't do Living Legend. But if you're new to the game, Living Legend has even more value than it did previously because the longevity of your gold keys has been extended by a couple commanders worth of sculptures. So I think that there is a lot of value going and getting those, and there will be a way to trade some of these junky stars, it looks like, for Alliance currency, which is something you actually care about. So there will be more value to Living Legend than there has been in the past. Hopefully you enjoyed this video breaking down the very best places to spend in Rise of Kingdoms. To run you through big picture where I'm at with this now, I think 30-day gem supply is insanely good value. The 7-day material supply is very good. The Writer of History and equivalent Vanquisher Bundle for equipment are very good. The new equipment bundles that are one-time offers are very solid. I personally like the Geared Up bundle because I'm focused on equipment, not troops. If you care about troops, then Call of the Ancients is really solid. And of course, all of the holiday events often offer very good deals, and we evaluate those the moment they arrive. Now, if you're wondering where do you spend your gems and when do you spend your gems, we happen to have a More Than Gems event going right now, which is kind of amazing. I typically spend these on my restart project for the castle. I'm going to be able to hit Castle 25 finally on my restart. And for my main account, I mean, I go in and I completely savage the VIP shop, which at the moment of this recording has just reset. So for me personally, that means I'm going to go buy the Material Choice chests. I'm going to go buy the Epic chests. I'm going to go buy the 24-hour speed ups. I'm going to buy the 8-hour speed ups. And heck, these days I'm normally buying these sets. I'll probably hold off on purchasing those just in case there's some error and More Than Gems shows up again by the end of the week. I don't know. It seems kind of insane, but I mean, I can hope and dream, right? If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel and throwing a like on the video. That does support the channel and helps out profoundly. If you're looking for more videos to watch, check out any of those cards we referenced throughout the video by hitting the info button up at the top. In particular, I really do think the original spending guide will be of a lot of value for folks that want to see the details of what's contained in like 5-star general and the city hall upgrades and so on. Until next time, my friends, you have fun smashing the kingdom.